Most new MSPs fail not because they didn't buy the right software or they didn't build the right pricing structure. It's actually because they never landed their first customer. And that first customer is a key pivotal moment into growing your MSP. It is freedom in building it. But here's the thing, getting that first customer isn't easy, but that's what we're going to be covering in this video. How you can go and land your first customer as soon as this video is over. So that way you can stop struggling, you can start growing your MSP. And by the way, I hope you enjoy the changes that I've made to the office as I continuously grow this. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether that's teaching you how to sell your services the right way, teaching you how to generate more leads in your business, or in some cases, your first customer into your business. And as you grow, help guide you along the way. If you want to learn more, check out our website at growth-generators.com. We have a ton of stuff in there from our programs, MSP Heroes, which is great for all MSPs, as well as our Launchpad, which is perfect for brand new MSPs. If you have no idea how to start an MSP, this is truly where you want to start. It's also included in the Heroes membership. And if you're looking for a community, come check out the Discord. It's completely free. You can click on this, it'll bring you over to the Discord, and it is truly a great place to actually build your community and feel like you're not alone in this journey, because truly you're not. And you've landed on a fantastic video that is going to help guide you, especially for that first customer. Now, let's talk about, we have to figure out who we actually want to go after. Now, there's the saying that the man who chases two rabbits catches none. And that couldn't be more true in this case. If you just call and say, businesses near me, you pick up your cell phone, you say, I'm just going to call everybody. Here's the thing. How do you help them all? Yes, they have a computer and you understand technology. And I have no doubt that you could figure it out. But if we took our time and figured out who would be the customer, who would be the person that would be an amazing fit for us, that's who we actually want to go after. If you're not exactly sure who to go after, we also have a free resource under growth-generators.com/resources. In here, there is a buyer persona. And you can go grab the buyer persona template. You can take this, you can actually leverage it and use it. And you want to find that ICP, that ideal customer profile, that dream. If you were like, this is exactly who I would love to help, that is exactly who you should be helping, right? And we have to figure out why we know that. Now, maybe it is because you have insider knowledge in that industry, you've worked in that industry before, you have a friend that might own a business in that industry. Whatever the reason being, doesn't particularly matter. All that matters is you know that you could probably help this person. Then we want to build out that buyer persona, right? We want to find more people just like that, because when we go to that buyer persona, we fill that out, and it's a cool little document. It talks all about their age and creating a fake persona, but we want to find as many people like that as possible, because that's going to give us the target of who we actually want to go after. Now, before we go after them, we want to dial in one other thing beforehand. And this is, maybe some people don't agree with me, and that's okay. We need to make sure that we know what we're going to offer. The last thing that we want to do is go in and say, hey, Mr. Customer, it's nice to meet you. You put out your hand. Hopefully they shake it and they go, okay, what do you have to offer me? And if the answer is, I don't know, oh my goodness, you are in some hot water. You want to know exactly what you can offer that type of customer, how what your services are going to impact their business. That is the most important thing. If you don't have that answer dialed in, you are not only leaving money on the table, but they're not going to be exactly sure if you're the right person that can actually go and help them. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you should have an idea of what you plan on at least offering. Help desk support, Microsoft 365, maybe. Maybe you want to get into some cybersecurity basics, but you should have a pretty good idea. You don't have to spend days and days and days in coming up with the perfect plan, right? You can do that after you actually get your first meeting. But you should have a good idea of what you actually plan on offering. Remember, that customer is going to be spending money with you every single month. And it's important that they know what they're getting and you know what you can sell them to solve this actual problem. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we have to know that first before we get into the next section, which is prospecting. How do we plan on going about finding this customer? Now, many of you guys have probably heard me, and I'll bring this up on screen. There's plenty of websites out there. You have meetup.com, you have Alignable, there's all of them. You could find local Facebook groups, and you could search your neighborhood, city, zip code, and then the events. In this case, I'm in Charlotte or right outside of Charlotte, so I'll do Charlotte here. And you could go through and select, hey, okay, Charlotte, right? We see events near me. Let's do career and business is probably really where I want to go. Charlotte business owners and networking from zero to income, right? There's a ton of them out there. Whatever it is, it doesn't particularly matter. But what matters is we start to figure out where we're going to go prospect. Also, you can door knock. I know it sounds terrifying going up there and saying, hey, my name is so and so. This is what we do. I'd love to have a conversation. It's okay to be nervous. You're expected to be. It's your first time you're going to probably make a sale. Kudos to you. You're doing a great job, right? But that's the necessary process that you have to go through. And last but not least is cold outreach. Now, yes, you can cold email people and send those messages, or you could cold call. Either one is fine. I'm a big fan of cold calling. You can do way more, and most people don't get email marketing right. They spend a ton of money and a ton of time, and it doesn't get them any further, truthfully. But cold calling, you could pick up and make dozens and dozens. You can make 100+ phone calls per day. That's 100 people that you're actually going out and reaching. Now, there's other ways too, but I wouldn't recommend them right off the start. And that's inbound marketing. That's creating content, creating YouTube videos, creating social media posts. While those are all great, unless you have some kind of following already, it's going to be pretty hard to convert those people over. And when you first start a business, I hate to say it, people don't come running with cash in hand. It does take some time to close some customers. Full transparency. It doesn't matter what business it is, it's pretty rare. It takes people time to adopt it. And then after they adopt it, then it's very, very easy. But there is some time delay in there. So it's not something I'd recommend. But if you're interested in that, I would check out Meetup, BNI, your local Latip group, or a Chamber of Commerce as a great starting point, especially for that in person networking. And it gives you time to rub elbows with people and just meet people in your local community that are also business owners. It's actually fantastic. But now we know who we want to go after. We know what we can actually offer them. And then now we know how to find them. That is the trifecta, right, of this entire thing. It's the most important thing. So now that you say, hey, let's have a conversation, we get to the fourth most important thing. You got to have a meeting. At some point or another, you're going to have a meeting. I know it might be terrifying and you're probably shaking in your pants, but don't worry. You have me, your bald headed friend on the internet. Hopefully, you've hit that like button, subscribe button, that notification bell. But I say that lovingly because the first meeting can be nerve wracking. It's the first time you're going into a sales meeting, possibly ever, and now you're selling your stuff, right? But I do want to let you know if you want the secret sauce, we have a battle card for you. You can go grab it. It's somewhere on our resources page here. Hopefully I could find it real quick. But go to growth-generators.com. There it is, battle card. It's completely free. You can get it. And that gives you a process, right? You want to book them. You want to talk to that person, get a feel for it. Yes, let's have a meeting, right? You have your discovery day. That whole day is all about you learning their systems and all of that. Then you have a proposal day. You come back and deliver that proposal, and then you close them at that point. That you want to break it into 2 days, believe it or not. It'll make a ton of sense down the road, but trust me, don't try to sell them on that first meeting. It never, ever, ever works out. Even a mechanic has to go get you a quote before they don't just say, it's about this much. They want to give you a realistic number. That first meeting is you have to find out what's going on in their business. What's frustrating them? What's driving them crazy? What's the reason they said, hey, come on back? And maybe it's just what do they want to see that could be improved? Doesn't have to be specifically what's being a pain in the butt, but they need somebody to upgrade their systems or make things just work the way that they want them to instead of the way that they're getting by currently. And throughout this process, you just want to listen and position yourself as a partner. If you're not positioning yourself as their trusted advisor, their trusted partner, they're going to feel like you're just trying to sell them to get their money and you're going to end up leaving, right? That's the last thing you want. You want to form a true partnership with them. Then after you hear all that, you come back and you then bring them a proposal, which brings me to part 5 or the step 5, which is actually closing the deal. Now, in some cases, they're not going to give you, and I guess I just don't have pens anywhere that I exist, but you want them to sign the proposal, hopefully, right? Or digital signature. Either one is totally fine. But you have to have them go through that. During that time, you want to keep your pricing as clean and as straightforward and as least confusing as possible, right? Either I don't recommend it if you want to do a monthly retainer, if you want to, however your first deal is, if you want to go into full managed services, most people do an all you can eat, AYCE, for X amount of dollars, which includes every most services that they actually offer, including help desk support. Whatever it is that works for you is totally fine. You just have to figure out what that actually is. And then also, you want to make sure that as you go through that, you can solve their actual problems and you can clearly articulate how your proposal solves their problems. And when they come together, it makes a great partnership in the business. But you have to close that deal and you have to be ready for objections. It's almost like I help MSPs here, but there's also a free objection handling worksheet that you can practice and learn with for the objections, the most common objections that you're going to get. It's a nice little booklet that you can actually study as you go through that. It's completely free. You don't have to pay for it or anything like that. But that is the process to land your first client. You have to do each one of those 5 steps essentially to close your first deal. Now, once you have one in the bag, it becomes so much easier for you and your business. I promise you that one. It is way less stressful after you have one because you've already done it once. Think about it. Think about the first time you rode your bike without training wheels. Think about the first time you jumped out of a plane if you've done that before. Whatever it is. Think about the first time you went camping and thought you were going to get eaten by a bear. I know, terrible things. But we've all been nervous the first time we've done something, myself included. First time I went into a fire, first time I went camping, all of the things, and that I just said, and then some. And yes, I've jumped out of a plane before. You always feel nervous the first time you do something, but it doesn't always have to be that way. It takes time, it takes energy to go through and execute on your first customer. And then you get to have fun. You get to work with them to roll out the technology that you want, the hardware, the software, whatever it may be. You get to play with all the shiny objects. But to land your first customer, it's not that hard. You just have to know who you're going to go after, how you're going to go after them, what you're actually going to be offering to them, and get that first meeting on the books. After that, it's just closing them. I promise you, it's not that bad. You can do this. I believe in you. Hopefully, you believe in you. Hopefully, I've earned a like button, a subscribe button, a notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one.